All right. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Trek Talk. I'm TechMan16.
And I'm Strange Kirk.
Strange Kirk is LARPing somewhat. He's working
And
out
I'm
at the moment. And I've got with me Rocketeer, who is the admin for the Star Trek.
Oh,
jeez.
You go ahead.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, I was being a bit bossy. I'm sorry. I was always going to say Rocketeer, ex-admiral of the Phoenix Ravens. Phoenix Ravens. Gosh, I can't
Phoenix
remember now.
Ravens. Server,
yeah. And
old
the
server 191.
Yep, and the admin of the Star Trek Fandom Wiki. That's correct. Sorry.
Awesome. And what? Bot developer, ex-DJ, what else?
Account management.
What else? Astronaut. There you go.
Not
Sales.
quite astronaut. Rocket science. I'm only kidding. I'm not actually a bot developer, by the way. I'm not actually a bot developer. I don't write them from scratch. I just have the what do you call them? Open source Red 26. A bit of a plug for that. They're an amazing team of people. They put together an open source bot that you can customize yourself. And a few other bots, but I just run
to say,
with
you're a geek.
Yeah. Got 7 of them.
Right? You're a geek. You're a bot geek.
Computer geek. No, computer geek. Computer geek. I spend far less time in Discord than you think.
Okay. All right. And then Amergan is back with us, returning champion. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. How you getting on?
Did you brew a pot of tea because it's kind of late where you are?
I have half a cup of tea sitting beside me. I've been drinking it while I've been listening to you guys talking.
Good. All right. Well, today I want to talk about mainly the Fandom Wiki site. It currently generates about 300,000 on average views per month, and Rocketeer has been pretty much the sole team of putting it together for the past 3 years, 3 years plus, and we're going to talk about what it looks like, how it came about, what the future holds, how things are being edited, who's editing, and then what the future iterations are. But first, we're going to get to know Rocketeer. So, Rocketeer, how did you get into Star Trek?
Sorry, I was just thinking there for a minute. That's sort of a hard one to answer, to be honest. It's pretty myriad because, first of all, I love sci-fi. Star Trek is just part of that. I remember the first book I actually read, science fiction-wise, was actually The Day of the Triffids. My elder sister had it, and I was in high school. I don't know, she was a bit of a book collector. And I guess that's a bit out there for you people, expecting to hear about all this Star Trek nerdy stuff, and I'm really not a Star Trek nerd. Actually, I think through a lot of the games and different things, I've actually met more, I don't know, it's an antagonistic Anglo sort of a crowd, if you ask me. Even the Facebook groups, if you've noticed, that are just Star Trek based, I don't know. They're very sexist as well. All they do is share Jerry Ryan pictures. So yeah, I'm really not into Star Trek fan groups. They're all pretty out there. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Voyager and all that sort of thing, but we actually heard how she used to want to burn that outfit once she finished it. I think Star Trek as a whole is pretty sexist, but anyway, the way they make it dress and all the rest.
We have discussed on this podcast that the majority of Star Trek fans are very much introverted people. You're not going to find many. I mean, there are. Don't get me wrong. Star Trek is a global brand, but you're not going to find many like extroverts who are kind of like these outgoing personality types that fit into what's a Star Trek fan. So yeah, that plays right into the whole kind of closed off introvert. I don't want to get out. I like my nerdy outfits and sit behind a keyboard and talk smack kind of people.
Yeah, I don't know, but I do love Star Trek. I must admit, I actually liked Jerry Ryan's role for what it was, as in she came across to me as a very scientific person and very sciencey. If you can look past the outfit, because I'm a female, I can, and I'm certainly totally hetero. Yeah, I just saw her as a science. I really loved the part where she was getting into like teaching those younger kids of something or other. I'm not very good with accuracy of things, but I liked that angle where she was teaching the younger kids of, teaching science and everything.
The children disconnected from the Borg cube.
Yeah.
Due to Echeb's virus in his bloodstream that killed all the adult drones.
You know, to be honest, even up to about 5 years ago, I used to have Star Trek on some kind of network, sort of satellite TV, as in non-stop. I haven't actually watched any Star Trek for quite a few years now, which is pretty weird. But then again, I'm, let's just say, over 40, so I really don't have to watch it for the rest of my life. I got into it I actually got into it maybe in my late 20s. I wasn't.
Have you been watching The Expanse, Sasha?
Picard and Discovery, yep. I've watched all
The
of
Expanse.
That.
Have you watched any of The Expanse?
I don't know why that gets on my nerves, but it does. I have no idea why.
Shit, I love it.
Sorry, I haven't watched it for a while. I tried watching it a long while ago. And I don't know. I'm not sure why. I might try it again. I can be judgmental. Look, I'm an ENTJ Myers-Briggs style. Judgmental. Extrovert as in what I say, but not exactly what I do. I'm certainly not an extrovert. People always get that Myers-Briggs wrong. As in not extrovert in any way apart from saying what I think and sticking to that. You know, there's no masks on me. I say it like it is, and that's why I never really got along with a lot of the Star Trek crew in that game, and they're all so fake. And the
before we get to the game, let's focus.
Star Trek. Yeah, and Star Trek. So I like the Voyager. I love Deep Space Nine. See, I like them all. I really do. The original series, not so much. I guess when you binge watch it so much over the years, you just can't do it anymore. Yeah, so the original series, I just can't do it. I think I put it on not that long ago, and I just thought, oh my God, this is just so tinny, like may as well get a can out and put some string together, you know, and talk to your next door neighbour. I'm just saying, I couldn't really get into the original series again.
I think you're going to make Kirk cry.
No, I can see the quality behind it. I'm saying I'm older, perhaps, but I just can't do it again. I've binge watched that, years and years and years ago. And when you've watched it so much, it's like, oh my God, I can't do this again. I really can't. So yeah, I can still do it for, watch Voyager and TNG and all of that. And that's fine. But the original series, no. But don't get me wrong, I love Kirk. I love all the original series cast, etc.
Have you watched Discovery, Sasha? We done a wee bit of a kind of review on Discovery. Various different views on it. What's your take on that?
Discovery, I like to remain subtle and say it's a great sci-fi, but it's not Star Trek. I really do love it. I really do love it. But people try and say canon, and I say, get out of here. What are you talking about? This is a very nice show. Yeah, I love it. Star Trek, yeah, it's Star Trek Discovery, but it's, to me, totally something new and different. And that's okay. People get upset when you say, but it is canon, but it isn't canon. Who cares? It's great, Star Trek. It's great. It's a great series, but canon, shut the door.
I'm glad that you said it's a great series, because the major opinion of the people that normally talk on the show cannot stand it. Discovery,
well, that's because they're tied up with canon. They're tied up with the fact that they think they're a Star Trek fan and they know what it encompasses, and that's that. But to me, I love sci-fi. I'm a sci-fi fan first and foremost. If you ask me, I'm one of the people that would share the memes of get me out of here, those sort of funny memes where you see someone, a little cartoon character and begging a UFO to come pick them up, take them away. So, I mean, I just love sci-fi. But Discovery to me,
I think
I've
personally
loved it.
for
I
me,
loved it.
it's Discovery has a great cast. They have a great set. They spend 50 million or whatever it is, $30 million an episode on special effects. Their writing is
Sure.
just
It
bad.
looks awesome. And what about the creature that made that whole thing? I mean, wow. Apart from them abusing the poor thing, which is a bit
Right.
unsized. But yeah, I just thought, wow.
It's
As in,
you're right.
if they could unlock themselves about the idea of being canon, they'd be fine. If they can say Star Trek Discovery real quick and just forget about the connection, they'll be okay. But they just don't want to be okay with it, I
That's
guess.
what they should have done in the beginning and be like, all right, we're in the 39th century and none of this applies anymore, so we're just going to do our own thing instead of like, oh, it's 10 years before Kirk and the Klingons look
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean. They just always want to argue when they just can't see it for what it is. It's a
yeah,
bit like people today if you think about it with anything. It's a bit like even the COVID thing flying around. It's people want to be. I better not get into that idea, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
conspiracy hunters. It's brought out all the conspiracy hunters, the people that were accusing everybody of being a conspiracy hunter. They're all now conspiracy hunters themselves, and I think it's hilarious.
Right. Okay. So let's switch a little bit. And when did you find Star Trek Fleet Command? And did you enjoy the game when you played it?
Yeah. Funnily enough, I wasn't right early on, like early when it very first started, because unlike most people with Facebook games, I had all of those ads turned off. So I never scrolled past it via Facebook or anything. I can't actually remember how I found it or stumbled across it. I really cannot. But I did. And I thought it was amusing because it also ended up, the way I see it, I ended up spending way too much money on it, threw money at it, but not as much as most or some. So anyway, it was about mid-2018, I think, approximately maybe, I don't know. And then I really enjoyed it for a long time. It seemed to be cool. I was a newbie. Obviously, it was sort of funny when I was being hit by this big alliance leader, like, the Admiral kept hitting me, and I'm thinking, what is his problem? Like, I'm a nobody out here in Romulan space, because I got out to Romulan space as early as I could. See, I played the game very much like I live my life. I'm a loner. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, look at all this neutral space. It's so full of everyone. It's like, I've got to get out of here. So as soon as I was able, I got into Romulan space and did my own thing. But yeah, I joined, long, boring story, but ended up joining this, can't even remember what battle named the Alliance then, but I called it the Phoenix Ravens when I joined it, when he gave it to me, which was very quick and out of the blue. I just got a message, you're the Admiral, here you go, bye. It was really quite a shock. Apparently he was in PM with 2 other Alliance members, but he just threw it at me. And the 2 others, which you might know, I don't really need to name names now because it's irrelevant at the moment, but yeah, so it was overnight. But in an overnight sensation too, that server is just full of, was chauvinistic weirdos. And it was the fact that I was a female that I never even had a chance. It was like really strange. The very first ad, I remember the very first sort of ad I put in the global chat, I was just torn to shreds by some guy who I will also remain nameless, coming straight back at me, saying, oh, you think you can just ask for such and just rip me apart, shreds. So it was funny from then on. We were just warring on all the time. We were just having wars. But he'd go and hide, of course, like a pathetic leader that he was. He'd go and hide in a planet as soon as he started the war and let his alliance members deal with the flack he made, which was very funny. Anyway,
So, quick question for you. Were armadas a thing when you started playing the game?
where are what? Sorry?
Were armadas a thing? Did you have armadas when you were playing the game?
Oh, sorry, Armadas. No. They weren't even on in 2018. They only started early last year, didn't they? Mid.
No, they started. They started post global launch. So you mentioned 2018. So you were on a server that was pre global launch. So you were technically, in quotes, a beta server. And Armadas didn't pop until maybe 6 to 9 months after global launch. And so basically, just to give everybody an idea,
I just remember posting. Hang on. I just remember posting about it I just wondered what that noise was before, and thinking, okay. I just realised, in the wiki, like they didn't start back in 2018 or 19. Anyway, go on. Sorry, I could have sworn it was only the other year or so.
it's possible. But like, to describe your gameplay, it was mainly like mine, titanium,
put it this way, there was
steel, dilithium, G2, G3, and
mine.
then
Who mined? Who? Excuse me. Who mines?
oh,
I
I'm
kill
sorry.
people. I wipe them out, and I steal their crap. That's what it became for me. It was made to come from me. I'd mine when I mined, but it wouldn't be very often. But with all these rows and stuff, that's what lost interest to me. You can't just make your own rules. The game has rules. People want to make their own. No game like that exists. So I think it's funny.
So let's get into that a little bit, because I know you mentioned
the rows never happened on our server. And by the time they were, I had left. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So you played the game the way, if Chef was here. Chef is he was a resident non-road dude, but it's like he used to play the game the way that the developers designed it. Blow things up.
Yeah, exactly.
Do everything you can to blow stuff up.
Yep. But now you've got all these servers wanting to do this, wanting to do that, and I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, Armadas, when they first came out, I'm just checking the wiki right now. Sorry. Anyway, go on, keep talking, I'm just reading.
Yeah. What year?
I'm just clicking the link to the blog, a year ago. Oh, yeah, see, a year ago, Armadas are here. They were being promoted all through the game, and there was always this stupid little square way back then saying Armadas are coming. No, now it's posted a year ago. Armadas are here. Armadas are beaming in your way. Read all the information regarding the upcoming features. Yeah, so that was only last year. It certainly wasn't for the years that I was there. Like I said, they weren't even happening when I was playing the game. I still do have a level 14 account. Just to log in and get images. Just to log in and get images now and then.
Sorry, when did you leave the game?
Oh, I should have researched that actual date, but I had to update the wiki last night because of this new Fandom desktop that's happening, that I've been ignoring the little banner across the top for a little while, and I thought I'd better look at that because I've made so much customization. It's not an easy swap over, and anyway, so that happened. But sorry, what was the question? When did I leave the... I know it's the same week as HiveMind. So if you remember when HiveMind and Nebt and Farside left, that was the same week I did. I deleted my game. I contacted Scopely contacted Scopely via email asking for my account to be deleted. See, I don't know about anybody else, but to leave a game is extremely difficult. The amount of stories you hear of people leaving their ships on planets and having their base ripped apart, I just didn't want to do that. And sure, I gave all the resources to donated it all, etc. And then bing, it was gone right before my eyes, and I'm not even kidding. As I took the last screenshot of my stats and that, bang, it was gone. And I thank them for being so quick about it, but they also, when they were bringing up the idea of content creators, I can find that date for you in a minute, by the way. I did post about HiveMind leaving. But when I actually did that, as well. It wasn't that far before then. They were asking for applications for people to be content creators. And apparently they used the excuse that I had told someone how to do that. This is before HiveMind finished, by the way, I think. Anyway, they used that as an excuse, the mods in the Star Trek Fleet Command Wiki. Discord, not Wiki, Discord. John contacted me and said, apparently you were telling someone how to delete their, that they can ask that to be done. And it's like, excuse me? Do you think it's lawful not to tell them? Anyway, that was their reason for not making me a content creator. And they said, apply later, but you're not very popular with the mods in Discord. Oh, really? Anyway, I think that's a very tacky thing to have said. That's why I wasn't a content creator, going to be given the role. And I thought, well, that's great. I made that from scratch, that wiki. And you think that's less creative than someone doing a podcast or someone doing a YouTube video. It's just highly hilarious that they also link it from their website now, and ever since they started their website. Yet they have given me zero connection. They've never contacted me. I actually sent them a thank you letter via email and a private message at Panic. Neither of them answered, not via email, and nor did Panic. How rude is that? Yeah, they just like the SEO, dude. They like it bouncing to them, because if they link it to there, and it's the only legitimate wiki, because it's a fandom.
You packed a lot in there, so I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try to.
I wasn't going to bother. I don't even care if you cut most of it out. All I'm saying is that was the truth of it all.
I'm not going to cut any of it out. So my next question is, how did you start the Fandom Wiki? If you didn't start it, how did you take the reins, if you will? And what did you do to like expand it to where it is now?
Well, I found it in about early December. I was looking for those dates at least this morning. Early December it was, 2018. And I adopted it by the 12th of December. And the funny thing was, does anybody remember the first nerf of the ships, Warp?
Yep.
That's online. I just wondered if there's anybody around that remember that.
Oh, there's a few of us still about.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was the night. I actually missed the fact that we all thought, if you remember, that it was going to be a great thing. They'd implied there was great things happening for the ships. Anyway, that was the actual night. I was working practically all night on this wiki, because I think that may have been the 12th. I'm not sure, because once I'd become an administrator, I could add a background, add the custom cursors, and do a lot more artwork, because just as an editor, I couldn't really make it look any good. It was about 5 or 10 scrappy pages. I can't quite remember. There's just no background, no front page, no anything really. It was just a few building pages and tables, sure, but there was really no front page. It was just a blankety blank wiki that somebody obviously started on a whim and left. I actually went there because I had been on Memory Alpha, and I was actually editing that, and it was in the comments there. You can actually scroll back and see it if you really wanted to, where they were telling me that this is not a game. This is not meant to be seen as a game guide. This is really just an encyclopedic kind of thing. And I just went, gee, sorry. And I went off and found this Fandom Wiki one, because Memory Alpha didn't want any more pages or anything. They didn't want too much information. I can't remember the actual conversation there. But then somebody else came along further on down the track, I noticed, and put in all these stats and expanded parts, which they must have loved, but just let him do it. But yeah, Memory Alpha just didn't want that to happen. They just pointed out to me that it wasn't a game. It's just merely it's just merely a reference. The fact it's there. And that's when I went out and looked for some other option and found this wiki in total little tiny bits. A few pages.
So timelines, Emergent, I believe the warp nerfing, that was global launch, wasn't that?
if I remember correct, Tech, they done it a couple of times. They messed around with the ships a couple of times.
But it was December 2018. That's why I got the date here.
Right. So that was probably the last time they done any real significant messing around with the ships. Presumably you're talking about, it's hard to remember because we were through that many changes in this game. It's hard to remember which time we're talking about here. But that's the time presumably when deep space or dark space as we know it, it became inaccessible for a lot of people. Is that right? A lot of people had been getting up into these high level systems with the Saladin, for example.
I was looking forward to it.
Maybe like 3-digit warp ranges, you know, amazing
really
stuff.
Like,
I do recall that when they did do one of these significant changes to warp ranges and the map and everything, one of the times that, it might have been after the merge that happened with us or something, we had to go and unlock the map again. I had the whole map unlocked and I had to go and unlock the map again. And when I reopened the game and I was looking at it, I was just going, screw that, I'm not going to unlock the map. That can wait. I've done that already. It's a tedious task. I'll get round to it at some stage. And then they nerfed all the bloody ships. And there were guys able to put their bases up into high-level space and not be touched because they had the map unlocked. And I was sitting there going, shit, I never unlocked that bloody system. And I was a bit sickened, because now my ships couldn't get there. But there were guys lower level, I'd say lower level, at the time they were reasonably high level compared to the average player. But to what we know now, they were lower level players, like probably talking mid-20s. Guys going up into systems that maybe have 100 warp range or whatever it would be and putting their base up there and things like that. So missed the boat on that.
Yeah, I was really upset actually. So I'd spent all night on this wiki and I'd missed the main news because we were all actually quite excited about it. I remember that much. And that's why I really wanted to rip into the wiki that night as well and spend so much time. But by morning I've got up and it's sort of after the fact. I'm reading all these comments in some Discords all night going, it's nerfed, they're all destroyed. And I mean, I was planning to move out, way out in deep space, and it was just a joke. It was very funny. It's very hard to keep motivated for the wiki after that, but I did anyway.
Yeah, because I believe that was global launch, where they're gearing up for all these players to come in, and then they nerf the warp ranges, and then all of a sudden nobody showed up on global launch day. Which is, I guess, kind of serves that purpose very nicely. But, okay, so let's get back to the wiki. You found it in shambles. Somebody started it. It was 10 pages or less. And then you gained administrative access. And how long did you start spending on the background, the additions of the pages, the wiki coding, the data gathering?
Oh, gosh, hang on. It's too hard to break up into time. To be honest, that's where I said earlier. I thought it was funny when you were calling me a bot nerd. No, and not a Discord nerd. No, but I'm a computer nerd. I like to, muck around with stuff on the computer. But that's mainly it.
Yeah, can I just interject a wee bit? Would it be fair to say, Sasha, I came across the wiki through Reddit, I think it was, and to my mind, I was emerging as a content creator at that time. We're going back to early days here, and a lot of what you're saying to me about moderators and things, the way Scopely was doing their business back then, rings bells for me because I remember a lot of that. But at the time when you're somebody like us that's working out with the wider community, you have to get away from, I suppose, your in-game politics, what's going on in your own gameplay. And you have to then start fielding all of these questions and offering this support to lots and lots of new players. You're essentially doing Scopely's job for them. Would it be fair to say that, to your mind, to mine anyway, the wiki was up there on a par with HiveMind when it came to you're a player, You want to go out, you want to do a Google search, you want to do a search wherever it is. You've got Discord and you've got the wiki, and these were your two primary points of call for information on the game back in the day. More so than anything that Scopely were offering the players. These were two community-based, community-built resources, and the wiki, to my mind, the wiki was up there, kind of leading in the sense of offering community support to people and offering information to people. Would that been your sense to it, having been behind it and working on it?
Well, thanks. Yeah, to me, the sad thing is a wiki fandom, and this is what I'm mainly about, is always meant to be a community. No one person owns it. This is the main reason I wanted to connect with, well, yourself as well as Techman, to perhaps do a podcast as well with you. I mentioned that the other day, because people have to realise that. I was made out to be this, paint thrown at me. I'm a takedown bot. With some of the comments, I delete stuff that was rubbish. Somebody want to make a page about their alliance. It's like, excuse me, you write a blog post. Do they know how wikis run? Or they'd break tables, edit things, say, why isn't this here? They come blasting in with one idea and zap, they're gone. Or why isn't this here, and zap, they're gone. It's like, hello, the community thing says it's meant to be a team. I don't want to do this. I'm a good delegator. I've been a manager all my life. Do you think I want to do all this myself? No, I can, but I don't want to. It was always meant to be a team. But what do you know? I've been running this wiki for about 3 or 4 months, and I wander into the Star Trek Discord, Fleet Command Discord. It was always there, but I never looked in it. You might think that's funny, but I just never really did. And I've scrolled back. Someone had mentioned it to me. Oh, do you know there's this guy constantly whinging about the wiki? And I thought, what? And you can scroll back and find him yourself. He, in effect, started this hate community for the wiki, and I wasn't even aware of it. Do you know what he wanted to do? Oh my gosh, it was such a mess. How would you find that? Would you find this helpful? These years into the game, like Amagan and Techman and so forth, would you find this helpful? As in pages upon pages of pages and systems and how they link. And I'm talking about the names of them, by the way. It was just huge pages of words of system names. And even me, as an admiral, I was looking at that thinking, this is going to be a nightmare. You can see it still, it's under neutral zones, and I've had to make a different page. But he was the one whinging in that Discord. I think it was DM Pank was his original name. So there you go, he ended up making a map as well. But he threw so much mud, I think it was him, pretty sure, threw so much mud in the main Star Trek Fleet Command about the wiki, I could not believe it. So believe it or not, that's where it started, and that was way back in 2018 and 19. And I had no idea of it.
Who was the guy? What was the name again?
You can actually scroll back. Just scroll back to Star Trek Fleet Command Wiki and go to the last page in the search, because he just ripped it apart. He said I was this bitch. He said, excuse the French. He's just slurring all sorts of stuff just because I wouldn't let him do this weird
we
messy
cuss
page.
a lot on this show.
Well, it was just a nightmare. I'll try and record some for Techman later, but I've left the page there. But what he wrote in the Star Trek Fleet Command Discord was just really, really weird. And the fact that I knew the person he was talking with as well a little bit from a different game, and I thought, oh, you're going to give him a good idea, are you, and say this is a good thing you've got going. It really was a mess. I've tried to explain to you what he wanted to do. It was just pages upon pages upon pages of a written system and how they link. And the stories behind it, you know how you get the little stories that flip up at you? Okay, that might sound interesting to you, but do you think he was going to do it himself? In other words, he wanted to open up all these pages, and I knew he wouldn't be sticking it to the end. Gosh, I don't even read those things
I would
back then.
assume not. I would assume he would.
I flicked through those little dialogues so fast because I just want to get this or that for my ship. Don't you?
Was Hive Mind useful to you back then, Sasha, in terms of like I know Net and Farside, and I'll be chatting to Net and Farside now and again. We reminisce a little bit on the old days. But would you have found that the team that they were building, they got quite a buy-in from a lot of people to help with building HiveMind? Did you find that was any help to you? Was there any spillover to the wiki there from people who were using Discord mainly? It's two very different animals to me, using Discord and putting a command in for a bot, or just doing a general search for a wiki. Did you find HiveMind and the people that were in there offering their help, were they any use to you? No?
Not really.
No.
I mean, there wasn't really a blending, but to be honest with you, I had my own connection there, because when they first were introducing themselves in the Star Trek Fleet Command Discord, I put my hand up and said, hey, do you want to help here? I know a bit about bots, I don't know. And that's why I was put on as one of their main mods. Which was another reason, I guess, later on down the track, people had this problem with me. It's sort of very strange, because it's all for nothing in my point of view. There's no real basis behind it. But yeah, I was their main mod there because I wanted to help them out. And yeah, I still connect with them. Well, one of them. And sure, I like their information, but I too didn't want to just use their information and chuck it on my wiki. And I didn't see the point. I didn't see the point, to be honest. It was getting to the point anyway that I started to slow down editing at some point, because it is very time consuming and it always did need a team. That's what I'm talking about. And yet, all the reasons why people don't want to do it, in my opinion, it's really just boils down to it's too tricky. It's fiddly. You have to look at this code, you have to understand it. I mean, I can't even appoint an admin or a mod unless they know how to work with it. What would you do if somebody deleted all the pages information and chucked it somewhere else? You have to track it down. You have to know how to do that. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, we've talked about this. Like, we've talked about, possible reasonably trustworthy people, I suppose, that you could give some responsibility to, and the likes of myself and Tech, and there are other guys there as well who'd be more than happy to help build community resources. They've been around the game for a while, all of that, and quite happy to turn their hand to a wiki. But for me personally, I've never messed around with building wikis and working with a wiki. I use it plenty. I've just never done the background stuff on it. So there's a blockage there in my brain that's telling me, like, I'm going to have to learn something here. I'm going to have to spend time and energy to be honest, even being a mod, all you really have to do as a mod is to let an admin know if something's happened, or let admin know if people have some ideas for some pages. And yeah, that sounds fantastic. In other words, I could just help them set that up. Do you think I care if somebody wants to, like Rev or any of these people that seemingly, I just want to mention that briefly, if you ask me, they just want to own it all themselves. I even heard the word buy. I'm thinking, that's interesting. Whereas nobody owns this wiki. Anybody can come in and do what they want. There's a lot of egos about at the minute, Sasha. Like, the thing has professionalized a fair bit from a Scopely point of view. When we were first dabbling around in the community stuff, we were largely left to our own devices, and Scopely were willing to grab it with both hands because it benefited them. And like you said, they were selective about who they wanted in there and all of that kind of thing. But it was very loose back then because nothing had been established. It was, in fairness, it was panic trying to build that made the first inroads into bringing his team together, a team that could work under the guidance of the development company. Back when we were first doing these things, when HiveMind, that was only emerging. It was early days for everybody. Now that has professionalized a fair bit, and I'd say that Tech and Kirk are well aware of this here, that now they've got established content creators, but what they've done is they've got this kind of inner circle where everybo's got their nose in the trough. From the outside, certainly, this is what it looks like. Everybody's got their nose.
Okay. Let's go back. I believe what was going on was Scopely promoted the wiki, but it did not even acknowledge your thank you for linking.
Well, no, they don't. I don't No, so they didn't acknowledge the thank yous, but that's what I mean. They don't promote it. Promoting it to me as a link at their website, that's not promoting it in my point of view. The fact that you scroll, you write wiki in their Discord, which I get a friend or two to do from time to time. Still do, because why not? And the ignoring it, the never pinning anything back then. It was only ever pinning the you-know-who crap, never the wiki stuff. Sometimes they would delete a link. But, that's just being childish. In my point of view, it's always been a childish act. Even the mods and the way they acted with links and any connection, and always being lapping up to Mr. You-know-who and his stupid darn bot. But you see, why give it that much flack when it's linked on their website? It's what just confounds me. I really don't care if it's linked there or not. The views were there way before their website. It's the SEO they're getting from their point of view, see. That's the only reason it's linked. And they're not stupid. It's the only legitimate wiki fandom, and that's just the way it goes. And I guess their tech computer guys would tell them that. But yeah, please, it's just like little advertising plug. Come and edit it. I don't want it. I never did want it this long. It needed a team. You can do what you like. You can redo the pages. You can make it look totally different. Hey, it won't have my name on the work. You can make it look like chicken soup. But as long as it's not broken, as long as it's mobile friendly, because see, people got annoyed with the tables too. They want to add a column for this, add a column for that, add a column. Excuse me, that looks like crap on a mobile, and that's over 80% of our readership. But they just wanted to, blah, I'm out of here. But the fact is, they'd just be one-hit wonder editors. They come through with a typo, they make me laugh. They come through with a typo and they've edited something. Oh, they've one word. Want to help. But I like it because it's, I've got about 30 websites, by the way. I'm a website addict. I'll find a nice picture of background and I'll make a website. This is a wiki and a game I used to play, and so I have a bit of pride there, and I just want it to be taken over by a group of people who give a crap. Give a crap. Make it what you want. Please, this is a huge plug for people. I don't want it. I'm there if you need any help, sure, but I don't need this. I really don't.
One of the things I wanted to say there as well, Sasha, was like that from years of gaming, 30 years gaming, and 20 of those years online gaming, you must say, it was never Discord that I used. Like Star Trek Fleet Command was the only game that dragged me into Discord. Every other game I would be sitting there, because I'd typically be a PC gamer. I'd have windows of wiki pages, fandom pages open in the background with all of the links and everything that I would need for playing a game. That was always, as a gamer, my go-to place. My go-to resource was always a wiki. If there wasn't a wiki for that game, there would soon be a wiki for that game, because that was where it always was at for your information if you're a gamer. Discord, I know, was more useful as a chat. It took over from the old kind of like TeamSpeak thing that was around. I was never really into that. But Discord for me was always more for the chat function as we're using it now and stuff. But the development of these bots seem to have become very popular for Star Trek Fleet Command. Now, I don't see that with other mobile games even. I'm sure it's there, and I'm sure there's bots for lots of different games out there. But it seems to be a little bit unique, or certainly not common, that Discord is the single most used resource for this game. It shocks me that there's not an army of people lining up to contribute to a wiki.
Well, you see, it's the time-consuming. You've even mentioned the time-consuming factor. People come through wanting to edit, and they might edit over the years. I've seen it. Or they'll put in a stat or two at a certain level for a building, but they don't come back because they see it's sort of a bit fiddly. I couldn't be bothered doing this. But the readership, that's there. the readership is definitely there. So, I mean, you'd have to show me a bot having commands of about 300,000 commands a month. I don't think so. I have no idea, but I don't think so. Yeah, they can scroll for the information too. But we're at Amigan. I sort of understand where you're going with Discord, but that's just yucky area. When people are looking for information, I don't know. I still think they want to scroll through it. Gamepedia and Fandom, they merged recently. Gamepedia and Fandom are the most legitimate game reference platforms out there. Yeah, sure, there's others, but I still believe the main reason they are that popular is that well, first of all, nobody owns them. Nobody can rip it away from you, or nobody controls it. The community should. It should always be a community. But somehow, way back, like I said, it was labelled that it's hers. No, it's not mine. It's not, but this, just a moment, Techman, no. But that's what they used to plunder in that Discord, a bit like Elkar's is his, Wiki is hers. No, it is not mine. And the amount of times I try to say, no, it is a community's. Come along, take it, edit it, do what you like with it. In a lot of ways, that is what people don't understand. No one owns a wiki. They can't, not even a group of people. It's a team effort. You'll get together, say, how about we do this? Yeah, that will look great. That's all I ever wanted. You know, people can complain about the way it looks. It's like, oh, well, that was the basic setup of when I came along to it, of the tables, of the buildings and so on. We can enlarge upon that, but it has to be consistent effort. Because, yeah, you can have all these changes and ideas, but unless you're going to do it yourself, don't ask me to do it. You see what I'm saying? You've got the concept in your mind, go for it. I'm here. I can make sure the table works for you. I can, you know, chuck you any kind of watermark you want that I've made, or these gold boxy templates. You know, I can help with all of that fiddly stuff until you got it sorted. Anyway, sorry, Techman, go ahead. But that's what I mean. It is a community. It's not mine. But people used to go on and on about this fact that it's mine.
I get
it's
it.
like,
no. I'm with you. Maybe, you know, this is something that you may not know the answer to, but I want to go back to kind of like the Scopely and the mod treatment of either you personally or the work that you've put in. And I know you mentioned it was a person or a moderator or whatever who just kept ragging on it. And do you know why that this level of animosity came about?
To be honest, I can tell you right now, it's not really about Scopely. To be honest, I haven't got a problem there. Unlike all of you, I don't play the game anymore. So, apart from anything else, no, it's the mods. It's the idea that I was trying to help you understand that there's nothing running that Discord except those mods. Do you really want unpaid people telling you how to run your Discord? I think people are crazy. Why do you think every server I have, and I've got about 5 or 7 servers, my bots are my mods? You don't need a mod. What does a mod do? They should, in my point of view, if you read Discord's outline, and I am a hype squatter, they should be there to keep decorum, make sure people aren't hurting each other's feelings, being rude, etc., etc., etc. But pretty much, you don't really need them if you've got a good bot or a bunch of bots. In my opinion, I don't have any mods. I have a few friends that are online occasionally. Yeah, I'll chuck a mod roll on them. But yeah, my bots do it all. They can auto-delete anything. They can auto-delete links in my servers. They can auto-delete swear words. And that's what a mod's about, in my opinion. But never mind. I know the Discord ones do a lot more than that. I'm not saying they're all the same. I wouldn't even know these years. But Scopely don't do anything. Or they'll have a panic that comes along, or this new person, and I really don't have any problems with them. See, in my opinion, if you think about it, they're in a company that earns a heck of a lot of money. If any of them treat Discord seriously, I'd think that would be sad. But it's good if they keep it a little bit serious, but their mods do it for them, and unpaid at that, or they might get a few perks, as I've heard, some small perks. But I really do detest the way the wiki was treated. I won't say me. It just started early on, like I said, by that one person that was pissed off at the wiki for not being able to totally make a bunch of trashy pages. And I had no idea that he was throwing mud at the wiki in that Discord, because I never went in that Discord. Then I found it. Then I thought, oh my God. So that was the birth of the mods and everybody else being filthy at the wiki. See, you can't think that you haven't got a platform of 40,000 people just because they're lurking, or 70, whatever it might be now. See, I find that highly slanderous. And yet mods just let it go, let it go, let it go, and yeah, go for it. You know, rip the wiki apart, etc., etc., etc. So if you think about it, if you think anybody slandering anybody in any kind of a Discord is okay, then that's just not on. And the mods let that happen. See, if it was a certain person doing it, that was okay. If you stand up for yourself, that's not okay. And I saw it happen too many times to, far too many people, by the way, not just saying it either. Or some sort of little basic member would come up and say, oh, that person said this, get rid of it. And the mods would just bounce and kick people out of the... Discord, in effect, is a total joke. I've had a few comments to Discord staff about it. Discord is run like a joke because of the moderators. Far more than just Star Trek Fleet Command. I'm saying this, I'm in over 100 servers now, but I mean, with Nitro I can go up to 200 now. I just join them for interest's sake. I join them and leave them and that sort of stuff, but I'm in a lot of sort of art ones too and different things, but I just lurk around and look around, but mainly it's just for, hardly ever on Discord half the time, so. But yeah, mods to me are given far too many, is what I'm getting at, far too many rights.
I would
really
push
nobody moderating the modders. Nobody moderating the mods. It's just a joke.
What you're saying is effectively the community itself is toxic to itself.
True. Mods are these unpaid people who get this. I don't know. I'm talking about all the different servers I've been in. I see it everywhere I go. People join some of my servers and 5 minutes later they're asking to be a mod, or can I be this or that. People are hooked on being hoisted, and I think it's hilarious. And once they do get a mod role, and if it's in a big server, it's, oh, wow, now I've got such control. They're control junkies pretty much. And if you are a company like Scopely, I'm getting back to the topic there, why would they care? They're a company. I really don't know what a community manager of Scopely would be doing with Discord. As in, what is his day-to-day job? In other words, I really feel it's like... Yeah, exactly. It's a bit like a coffee room or something. I don't know. But he's got a day-to-day job, whatever he does with the company. So, I mean, good luck to them. I don't know. As Discord, and getting back to the wiki subject, I just think it was horrendous how they've treated it throughout the years. But it did start from that one editor that got pissed off that he couldn't, dump a whole lot of crappy, trashy-looking pages. And then he was getting, oh, you poor thing, from these people in Star Trek. Oh, how horrible. Why don't you just make one yourself and copy all her crap? And it's like, I don't know. It's like totally weird. And anyway, anybody can scroll that earliest information, or just scroll wiki. Yeah, go back to the earliest information, because I couldn't believe it when I first had to stand up for the wiki and being not trashed. And then it just became a popular thing to do or something. But yeah, it's a community-run thing, and by all means, anybody can edit, get together, make a team, and make it what they want.
But through all that, the wiki generates a lot of views per month. And
yeah, it does.
So how did you manage that? What is it? Is it just fandom itself, or is it Star Trek?
Come on, excuse me. Look at it. Isn't it pretty? It is pretty. I made it a lot of work and effort into it. It's got a lot of the buildings. Look, I'm pretty upset that it doesn't have editors currently editing. Do you think I edit every day? No, I edited a ship the other day because I couldn't be bothered. It needs a team. Like I said, my history is managing and delegating and all that sort of stuff. But from where to go, from the way back, once I got it all tidied up and all pretty looking and ready to go, no editors came along. Because, it's a bit fiddly. It's a bit fiddly.
I'm so sorry.
Well, yeah, I can't do it myself. But that could be leaps and bounds from where it is today with a team. All I really have to be there for is to help with watermarks or to help them with tweaking this or that. But it could have been whatever anybody wanted it to be. The tables could look different. Like technically, like you were saying the other day,
your
you wanted
background experience. I'm just trying to prop you up here. Your background experience, building stuff, being a computer nerd, helped revitalize what was something pretty bad into something really nice looking, really cool, and that attracts viewers.
You know that fandom you linked me to the other day? Yeah, pretty much no page. Remaining nameless.
Which fandom?
The other wiki.
Fandom
well, you can't have duplicate wikis anyway. But what I'm saying is...
I know.
Not much.
I know what you're talking about.
No. Yeah, but not much more than that. In other words, just blank. Blankety blank, 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 blank. It was white. So I've helped this become what it was because of the SEO. That's how you word things. Not having 10,000 pages full of, a couple of words, somebody coming along making a ship page with a picture. People might think there's not enough pages, but on the top of that, people want to come along and create a page like he did. I'm not even kidding. Some guy came along and look, if you're out there, if you're going to be listening, I'm really sorry. You created that Borders page. Gee, thank you. You gave it a title. Wow, way to go. And then out of politeness, I guess, you decided to put a bit of information there. But what I'm saying is I do not make a ship page unless all the stats are there, like all of them, 1 to 9 or 1 to 5 or whatever it might be, because that Google search is going to come up, what the crap is this? I don't want a description of the ship. I'm not looking for a picture of the ship.
From an outside point of view, Sasha, I'd like to argue back on 2 points there that you're making, right?
No, but hang on. I'm the only person that's going to put those stats in, Amagan.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, so I only put them in the other day.
No, absolutely, and I get what you're saying. You like it. You're maybe a bit of a perfectionist, and you want it to be right. And I get that.
Not really.
Right?
If I had the editors there, I've got a whole spreadsheet of all the sheets. I've had it for years.
Right.
I'm not going to do it myself. I'm not going to do it myself. I haven't got the time either.
I get that you want to be able to stand over the quality. Okay, completely get that. But what I would say to you,
it's not standing over the quality. I mean,
okay.
if you had a website, would you want somebody coming along and making a page name and leaving it there? Just a page name. Do you know how much that would stuff up the SEO? I'm just saying people would be bouncing out of there quicker than light. But if they're jumping on the Borders page,
but I would come from the school of thought where if I'm searching for something, finding anything is better than finding nothing. Do you get me? Especially if there's a disclaimer there saying, we're working on this. This is a work in progress. Like, bear with us.
And that would have been there for 2 years. No, I have to disagree. And if you looked into wiki information, you'd agree yourself, because pretty much that empty Borders page with a title, say if somebody made it 3 years ago or 2 years ago, would still be there. I've already said.
Yeah, but if you're recruiting people, then surely, if you're recruiting people to kind of become part of your team, then surely it wouldn't be sitting there like that for 2 years. You would have updated it and it would have become a better thing in time, no?
Well, hang on a minute. No, because you're also saying time. So guess what? If somebody made every ship page that there is 2 years ago, do you think that's going to force me? Because it's basically saying, do it, bitch. Excuse the French, but it is. And it's like, no, you do it.
I'm going back to what you're saying, though, about a team, in the sense that this wouldn't be do it, bitch, because nobody would be expecting. Well, I certainly wouldn't be expecting that it's going to fall on the shoulders of one person.
What you're saying, what I'm getting at is, all these years there has never been a team. You get a one-hit wonder that wants to come along and do something and go, or they'll fix a typo and go. I'm saying, look. Somebody out there, whoever it is, I really don't care. You want to make a team, make a team. Been here, done that. Because ripped apart years ago. Now, like I said, they had a stage of over 40,000 people to rip the wiki, me apart. The wiki is a community thing. They, as I said, do not like duplicates either. They'll rip one down if one goes up.
Yeah, to my mind, we're talking to somebody here who's put in, probably individually has put in more hours into supporting this game community than on average in 99% of the rest of the player base. You don't even play the bloody game anymore, right? So number one, there should be credit contributed to you for having stuck with it when lots of other people dipped their toe in the water and pissed off. And this is some of the sort of conversations that I would have had with Tech and a few others, in the sense of like, well, why would you reinvent the wheel? The resource is already there. You yourself said the SEO is pretty good on it. All of that kind of stuff. You have a foundation. You have a foundation. You've more than a foundation built. So to me, everybody, if they've got a little bit of time, should be stepping forward and offering to stick their shoulder to the wheel and assist with this, especially in the absence of the other community resources that we'll not get into right now.
I've had so many stat sheets. I've got all the building stat sheets. I've got all the ship stat sheets, but I am physically not going to do it anymore. That came about because of, to be honest, the filthy treatment I felt from the Discord Star Trek Fleet Command. But it was mainly the amount of blades being thrown at me. It's like,
but what we've actually got there now.
By myself, but hang on a minute. It was saying to all these 40,000 people forget that. People forget that you've got an audience there, and that's what they love. The people throwing the blades love that, but the people thinking about it don't think about it. So the wiki was ripped apart. Mind you, it didn't hurt the hits. It did not hurt the hits, but my editing went to zero.
I know, and I feel for that, because I remember them days when people are throwing blades, as you say. I was probably one of them at times myself. I'm fond of throwing blades when I see somebody flashing a blade already, and I've done my fair share of it.
It had no basis. All I was ever after is a team. You go ahead and do it. I've given it a background. I've done this and that. I've made the tables happen. I can fix any problems. But hey, you don't like the table? Have a proper idea that works. Go with it. Do whatever you like. Or if there's a team out there that understands wiki source code, go for it. They can do it any day now. Just make a profile and start.
This is something we're seeing as players now, is since LCARS has gone down and been taken away from the players, a whole lot of players have appeared, offering all sorts of skill sets. Some people are saying, I've coded with Java for 10 years, 20 years. Other people are saying, I have basic knowledge, but I'm a bit of a nerd and I'm willing to do some of the donkey work. And there's lots of people turning up on this new Discord server in the absence of LCARs, offering to do that. And this was one of the things. Tech would know better than that, because he's part of that team on that Discord.
Well, you know the channel in the multicoms, what used to be called Star Trek Fleet Command Wiki one, but I've changed it to multicoms. That Discord. If you scroll to wiki submissions, you'll see the two links to source code editing on the wiki. You can talk about Java all you like and everything else, but believe me, it took me quite a few weeks to wrap that around my head. It took me a long time to make custom cursors, which I can't use anymore because it's now changed overnight to Fandom Desktop, which is kicking into this Fandom, which is why I hang around, by the way. Things change in the standard. It was not that long ago that it merged with Gamepedia. And that sort of broke some RSS feeds in that I had on the events page and so forth. But now it's merging to this Fandom Desktop, which I thought I'd better check out only last night. And so now you can actually, via your profile, because I know you've made one, go to Preferences, which is a drop-down from your little logo, avatar, and go along to Appearance, and you can actually check out now the Fandom Desktop, how it will look. Very soon, by the way, because in 2 weeks' time you won't get the look that it looks like now. It'll look different because they've made a change. So I had to do a bit of CSS fiddling and check out and ask a few questions, how to fix this, fix that. Because, that would look like a horror story. It was just blank white and you couldn't even read the links. So I'm glad I fixed it last night, because the Fandom Desktop is a totally different look. But I think it looks pretty cool the way it looks now. But you have to keep up to date with that, and that's what I'm there for. I don't mind sticking around for as long as it takes, because it's a bit of artistic pride, that's all. I remember you just mentioning something about I need credit. Not really. I just need it to work for the players. See, I'm not about the kudos from Scopely or anything else. It's the fact that I just had a little short message to Panic and an email saying, gee, thanks for that. I noticed the link. But to ignore it, why? But okay, whatever. No, so I'm about the players, and that wiki is about the players, and let's make it work. I don't mind what team.
The point I'm making here, Sasha, and for the benefit of anybody who might listen to this podcast or discuss it afterwards, it's along the lines of, if you've got time to offer and you've got any sort of skill set at all when it comes to inputting data, then reach out to tech, reach out to myself, reach out to yourself, and make
the links
yourself.
Are there. That's what I was saying
known.
in that channel. In that channel, in the Wiki submissions channel, you'll see the links to source code editing, editing tables. It's really not that hard, but it's not Java, it's not Python. Yeah, it's none of that. But once you get the hang of it, it's really not that hard. And if you use the, what is it called, Microsoft or something, Visual Code, that's where somewhere you can practice it. You can view before you publish on the wiki, but you can copy any source code of any page. See, if you go visual editing, that doesn't work. That breaks tables. And that's what I reckon people got all self-defensive about, and they just didn't understand it. There's two ways to edit. There's source editing and there's visual editing. Visual is very tricky when it comes to big tables. You'll often break it or just won't look right. But source code editing, you're always safe with, because then you've got a button to click preview first and before you publish, so you can see any problems. But if you go into visual code, that's sort of something when you're much more au fait with it, or if it's a basic page with a few words on it. But when you get into tables and little tables, and especially those info boxes, and as a new editor, visual code is just, you think it sounds easier, but it's not. Source code, it looks trickier, but it's really just not. You copy a page of anything into a visual code. That's how I practice it first. A visual code editor.
Would you be willing, if there were people to present themselves and say, listen, I'm willing to give this a rattle, would you be willing to do a basic tutorial with people or talk them through your experience of it and how best to go about it?
Sure, it's a good idea. They can even, because it's easier, to join my Multicoms Discord, and I can make a stage channel perhaps as well, because that way you don't even have to join my server, I've found out, and that's handy. So I might make a stage for that Multicoms. For sure, I don't mind it, because I really do need people to do this. I do basic stuff on websites, by the way. I don't even make them from scratch. I have shortcuts for everything, and that's just the way I am. Bit Irish, bit this, bit that, but if I can find a shortcut to it, I'll find a shortcut to it. And it's a bit like games. I just blast my way through games like I do life. It's like you've got to cut to the chase and find the best way to do this or that. That's why Rose never worked. Rose never worked for me, so I never did it. It's like, no way.
Is that also not what we're offering to people? Anybody that offers community resources or any tips and tricks, whether it's through a YouTube video, a Discord bot, a wiki page, or whatever, it's all about giving people the most direct and efficient route to get to their objective.
Well, true. So that's what I'm saying. I can actually do a screen share, for example. It's my idea of cutting to the chase with editing. It's really not that hard. When you're editing in source code on the wiki, first thing to do is download that Microsoft Visual Code. I think I put that link in the Wiki Submissions channel as well. Again, if you want to check that out. The Visual Code is just something you can write in sort of text form, but it has the, number lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, if people aren't into coding, it's really just a platform of easy copy-paste of a source, view source code of any wiki page. You copy it, you dump it onto Visual Code, and you look at it, okay? Say if it's a ship of Kumari, you copy that for another battleship or wherever Kumari is. And you look at it and you just change the details to suit that sort of ship it is. It's really not hard. Or maybe it's a building. Copy the whole damn page, chuck it into Visual Code, and you'll get the gist of it. It's all just a bunch of those straight up and down lines above the backslash, meaning a new table square. Things like that. But I can show them, during a screen share, train up anybody they like. But really want somebody to take up that wiki over. I really do. And I'm just there in the background. They can change the way any page looks. They can this, they can that. I put all those. Did you notice all the copyright stuff on pictures? I learned from my superiors, okay? Memory Alpha did it, so I did it. This image is owned, blah, blah, Scopely, da-da-da-da-da. It's a gameplay shot from blah, blah. You can just copy and paste all of that.
That's what you want, effectively, for the future of the wiki. You want somebody to take it over, preferably somebody who's more active in game, with a team to edit it, be a community resource, because it gains a lot. Now, I did notice, I went to Scopely's website, StarTrekFleetCommand.scopely.com. In the community section, it does link your wiki there. Not your wiki, but the Fandom Wiki. Unceremoniously.
I know.
It goes to the...
I know, that was the first thing I noticed, and I hadn't gone to the blog for about a week or two after it's first started, and I thought, gee, that's nice of them. Wow, finally, ignore me in Discord, but my God, that's very nice of them. So I did. I sent a very polite message to Panic, which was ignored, and I thought, fine, I'll send an email to Scopely. Now, mind you, I might not have, who knows how I sent that email, I can't even remember. I mean, maybe I clicked the wrong thing and sent it to some Game Central and it's just an Autobot. Anyway, either way it was ignored, but either way they didn't reach out to me, and I had plenty of ways of them to do that. And in the past, when I first started editing on the wiki before their blog situation, I'm sure I sort of emailed them and said hi, and a very brief kind of very small paragraph of hi, I'm editing this wiki, let me know if there's any interest of details, etc. Blah, bye. But yeah, it's just a bit weird, but who cares? I'm about getting up and running for the players. Scopely is about Scopely. So never.
I think you may have answered this in the past, but what propelled you? I mean, you left the game. First of all, I have to say congratulations. You left the game. And
I applaud everybody. Believe me. Every time I log into that bloody little 14 account, I'm thinking, oh, shit, it's horrible. I would have been way over. I would have been way over 40 by now. I mean, the level is horrible, but it's good to have there for pictures and that. But
I applaud everybody for actually.
No, I was just cutting you off there a little bit because I say, don't do it. It's hard to deal with. Like, if you really like that game, just remember it's non-retractable. I might say it's an interesting thing to do, but be very careful of your choice because, yeah, I am happy that I've done that, asked for the deletion of account, but yeah, it's not easy to do. I still hate the fact that I do sometimes because every time I log in, like I said, that 14 account, I'm going, oh, yeah, boy, I'll click, take a few pictures and I'm out of there because I can't handle it, But then again, with all the rows everywhere, how boring is that? No, I didn't mind. I stole everything.
Since you left, just to bring you up to speed, since you left, there has been so much stuff that's been added to the game. The game doesn't even look the same as when you last played it. I know you log in from every once in a while, but there's just been like a whole host of crap that you have to do on a daily basis.
Can you imagine how that events page could look? Could you imagine what somebody who is right into this game can make that wiki look? It is, like I said, it's artistic pride that I just hang around. Look, come on, take it, somebody. Do something with it. I'm here to help you. But yeah, the events page, new ideas, a new front page information. The front page saying recent additions, yeah, stuff. That whole section needs to be revamped. It just has to be. I have been saying there in the fact of, if I abandon it, do you know what an abandoned wiki looks like? It can look like trash overnight. There's nobody there to stop, say, a broken table looking like totally spasticated. I will not abandon it. That's the state I found it in. That means deleting my account, whatever it is. I just don't do that with something I've created. So, yeah. But people can come along. They can change. They can change anything they like.
You kind of answered my question there because I wanted to know why is it that you left the game but you still stuck with the wiki and kept updating it. But it's mainly A, artistic pride. B, if you leave, like, it'll be destroyed in like a matter of hours, I'm sure. And
well, not even a matter of hours. They wouldn't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not that full of it. I'm just saying, if something broke, there's no admin to change admin permission type things. In other words, if you know what I mean, if somebody came along and broke it.
All
For
right,
example,
well,
you can
okay.
just be an admin of, doesn't matter.
So going back, I want to go back to the views. You get about 300,000 views a month.
Let's dodge away from that one because I really don't care. And people out there say, they're just bots, they're just sort of things, they're just sort of that. See, it's about the players. Whether it's 200,000, whether it's 150, it's about the players' information. You know, they need it to be updated more. And yes, it's got great views. Like I say, I just don't want to make it about that.
But I do want to talk about how you got it to that level. You know.
Well, I've already answered that one. If you know websites, you'd know why it works. And it is about SEO. And I remember a stupid argument, that's why I'm trying to veer away from it. A stupid argument with a certain person in that Star Trek Fleet Command Discord. Yeah, the bot owner. And not Hive Mind, of course. Good friend. But what I'm saying is he enjoyed ripping it apart. And I'm saying, no, you idiot, you probably don't even understand SEO. You understand bots, but you don't understand SEO. So I'm saying also by keeping it condensified is also, I know, a fact. Anybody knows that. That's basic 101 SEO. If you're keeping it basic and to the point, like I said, and suffice to say, Amagan was talking about the fact it might be good to have like tiny pages with, minimal couple of words, but no, that creates a messy SEO. But whereas if you're keeping it condensed, right. And that's why the biggest change I made not that many months ago, because I thought, geez, I really want to do something there. So I chucked in an index and I chucked in this or that. And so I always keep an eye on what's been searched on the wiki. And if I can add anything there, it's like, great, at least I'm keeping those people happy, because that's what you need the mods to do. You need them to keep an eye on the fact of what people are searching on the wiki. That's why I've made the fancy little search bars and, well, they can do it anyway, but I also made those, down the bottom, the gold bars and all those they're sort of templates. The boxes can go around anything. And the little menus, stuff like that. It took weeks to work out how to do it and checking out different wikis and getting ideas. And I just like the look of gold on black. Call me whatever, but anyway, and did all these little arty things on the right side for the clicks to missions and this and that. But, they can replace them. They can get rid of those too if they really want to take the wiki over 100% and change it altogether. Do you think I mind? I just want it there revamped for the players.
Yeah, I get that. And that's why you're here, and that's why you're talking about it.
Well, yeah, for sure. And if Morgan wants to do one too, it's fine by me. I just want to plug it because it sort of gets on my nerves from time to time that it is out of date. I don't want it to look like that, but I cannot literally do what I used to do. And if someone like yourself comes along, I chuck a bit of information, like I'll do a ship page and I'll help you with that second one you were talking about, a second table for a ship, which looks good, and the details are there. It's only a 2 or 3 column thing, and we can do that for every ship if you want. But you see, if we just do it for one ship and then there's no other editors to do the rest, why do one? One day,
right.
or some of you surely get that now. If you want it to be consistent, well, you want it to be consistent for all the ships.
Correct.
We can put that second table up. But yeah, because everybody's going to think, oh, this ship has this. Oh, it's so confusing. But, you need the consistent team to do that. But the amount of flack I used to get, it looks like this, it looks like that, or somebody in the comments whinging on, it's like, yeah, okay, well, do it then. I'm not doing it forever. Give me a break, edit, be a team. It's not that hard. Rah, rah. It really isn't that hard. But that's why I was a little bit, look, Borders Editor, thank you very much for writing that page, but that's why I keep on saying, thank you for making the title. I've only just put the stats in yesterday. Yee-haw! But yeah, there's no point in a ship page without the stats right bang, they're ready to go. And by the way, like I said, I have the spreadsheet. I have many spreadsheets from all sorts of people, but I've got a spreadsheet on ships. You can do them all. If you've got the time, go for it. Anybody's welcome to it. And you can put those stats in, and for all the buildings too. And research. But the fact is, they have to make it their own. When people started blading me, slash the wiki, it's like, excuse me, the community of fandom don't appreciate that. A fandom is a community. It is not my wiki. It is not my wiki. Yeah, I've jazzed it up. I've made it look pretty, haven't I? And it's got great SEO. Anybody want it? It's going for free. No, I'm only kidding. But it is a community, and make it happen. Put your teams together.
You may not want the credit there, Sasha, but you're a fucking legend, like, because you've stuck with this despite the fact you don't play the game. You've stuck with it. You've kept the thing bloody alive. You've been keeping this thing on life support for the last couple of years. You're like fucking Florence Nightingale here, like, you know.
No, I'm actually a control junkie, but thank you. Yeah, I'm a control junkie. It's my art. If I was to leave it, that's why I sadly even contacted Fandom and say, look, I didn't say they hate me so much out there, they're going to trash it, but I felt like it. But I would rather have it deleted. Unfortunately, I don't want to do it because it helps the players. And it was really hard, difficult email for me to write. But you see, with a popular wiki, it was a sad, no, sorry about that. It's too popular. You can't. So I couldn't delete it. So don't worry about it. Some people, even Aris was implying the fact that that's been the difficulty in the past. Like, he's got far more difficulty of people doing that when it's owned by someone, a person. You know, the fandom is owned by nobody. Nobody can delete that. That's the point.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and so it's safe. And your information is safe. Everything is safe. It's just that I heard some concerns from someone that people think a wiki, it's not their information. Well, no, it's not. It's Scopely's information if you really want to know. Even these people with bots with stats. Hey, yeah, well, it's not even your information if you think about it. It's a game, damn it. It's stats. Get over it. You don't really own anything. Not even game shots. You know, it's a game. You know, I get really what's the law about a lot of things. Even people that write fandoms, I think they're crazy. You know, poor actors, you know, having garbage written about them. But yeah, basically, it's a fandom that's run by a community, and I want that community to up and run. And that 40 to 80,000, whatever, that heard so much slurish and slanderous and incorrect information about a wiki, whereas they don't realise they own the wiki. I do not. And I can't stress that enough. Yes, I made it what it is, and thanks for the compliments. But never did I, even back in 2018, want to be doing this myself.
Oh, nobody wants that. It's a thankless job. Nobody wants it to be dumped. It doesn't matter what line of work you're in, whether you're a coach of a sports team or anything else. If everything's dumped on you, it's gonna fucking be stressful. It's gonna cause issues, and you're not going to get the best out of it. Whatever it is, you need a team of people. You need support.
Exactly. Imagine if you had 5 or 10 people. See, I'm all about numbers. I'm a marketing person. People don't realise that. Advertising and marketing, believe it or not, that was my history. And account rep, account manager, looking after state sales of stuff. But what I'm saying is that if you have 5 or 10 people interested in ships, if you've got 5 or 10 people interested in buildings, do you know those pages will be up in no time? They'll be up in a week or two. Because time becomes not much when you've got people. If you're that interested in making stats and that available for each other, buildings there are one by one, and they haven't even got all the pages for all the buildings yet now either, but they are still searched for. Do you know how annoyed as a perfectionist that I am has made me over the years? But I have to ignore what some people search for, but they are after those buildings. So say if you had even 20 people each picking a building, that would be up overnight or over a week or two. I'm just saying, it was always a numbers game. Everything always is, and the editing is really not that difficult. You'd see, chuck in a few numbers in those building pages is nothing much at all.
You know, I've actually preferred wiki pages because then I can copy the data into spreadsheets and do whatever manipulations I wanted with them, as opposed to
and even I've got those spreadsheets to give people. Anybody's welcome to those spreadsheets of buildings, researchers, and ships, and so I've got the information as well as all you people might have your own.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying the resource that we had in the past has always been Discord bot-based, which reminds me of MS-DOS, where you got to type in a command after a command for more commands. is I find it generally clunky because I don't want to type so many commands. I just want the data to be there, and so I could just look at it as a whole.
Oh, exactly. And that's what I was going to say too. Please. Pictures. I really want pictures of offices. There's a lot of new offices, and I just crop them to a certain size, and I've got the watermark. Anybody can do that. I usually use Pixlr actually online because it's the quickest. I've got so many image apps that I've paid for and that I have, but what do? I always end up on the free online stuff. It's PXLR or something that you can overlay and crop. But yeah, that wiki watermark just looks nice on the offices, don't you think? I don't know. And you crop them all the same size and chuck that copyright information. Like I said, I just learned from that superior of Memory Alpha, and that's what they write on their images. And it was actually when I was uploading an image that I found that out. I was trying to stop this banner across the top of the Star Trek Fleet Command Memory Alpha. That was right. And they, anyhow, didn't matter. You learn through, I'm the sort of salesperson by you never stop learning. And that's very much the same in advertising and marketing. You never stop learning. In Memory Alpha, that's where I learn a few things about that. So every single picture I upload, I chuck that copyright information, as in its scopely, and all that, because that's what they do. So you learn the rules of regulations of how a wiki should be run.
Some of these officer pictures don't have a wiki watermark.
That's when I first started it. I'm not that fussed. I mean, I just got the wiki watermark going whenever I did. Yeah, sorry about that. There used to be a slideshow up the top, and then I realised on mobile it split the slideshow up. It's like, oh my God, yeah.
That's weird.
So I didn't have the slideshow anymore. Yeah, it's just knowing how the fandom works and on different platforms, because I rarely used to log into the wiki on mobile. But then I've also worked out there's a mobile front page you can also customise. But that's changing at the moment as well, because of this new change of Fandom Desktop and the merge between Gamepedia and Fandom. That was a short while back, and that created some changes too. So the mobile front page on the Star Trek Fleet Command Wiki isn't really working as it should either. But I was relieved to find out that it's not working for a lot of people right now, because it's going through some changes. Changes.
I guess that's all I got. So basically, you want to hand over the wiki back to the community, and a community of people who are willing and active and updating the information, and have it be a good community resource for the entire fan base and the player base. It's linked on the Scopely website without any recognition whatsoever.
Well, we'll say whatever with no recognition, as in contact with the wiki. Remember, the wiki is not mine. Nobody owns a wiki. And they never referred to it in the Discord. Like, they never pinned anything, they never this, they never that. They never talked about it. Occasionally they'd even delete links.
Well,
so it's kind of funny.
Well, he who must not be named is now gone from the game, and he took his bots and went home. So
I must admit, it was even before that. I'm not pointing any fingers at any one individual, by the way. It really did start with that darn little PNK, you know who. I'm pretty sure that was the dude. But see, I had to mollycoddle that dude, and what do you know? He went on to get a claim on some little Star Trek Fleet Command wiki with his map and that sort of stuff. But honestly, the pages he wanted to do were a high on mess. Like system stories and linked to Timbuk frickin' 2 that nobody's going to read. Like I said, how many people flick through those little storylines so fast you can hardly blink? Nobody playing game Woe to Go would ever have a linked story to be able to put on a wiki, but that's what he kind of wanted to do. And I mean, I as a player back then couldn't click through those boring little. Sometimes I'd read it, but most of the time you just want to get through and get the bloomin' whatever it was. I don't know. But it would have looked like an encyclopedia of hellfire.
Right. All right. Well, I think
you left the game. And you left the game anyway. So anyway.
Right. Yeah. He who must not be named.
Also left the game. Yeah.
We. I think we're almost about at an hour and a half. So, anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up? Rocketeer?
Only that Techman's kindly offered the idea of doing some screenshots of the wiki to put together with the YouTube, and I'll get about doing something there.
Okay.
I might have to listen to the actual podcast through to sort of make it sync a bit for you. Save you editing.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we can get all that figured out. What else? Don't forget to check out Pixelbotter. You could buy the bot. It'll play the game for you on BlueStacks.
You can report it and rip it to shreds. It's terrible. Tegman thinks it's good. I think this is bad. Come on, you don't want to be playing against that sort of crap, automated crap.
For those of you listening that remember Scotty's Workshop, this is a better bot. You can do all the gameplay on BlueStacks, and you don't even have to play the game.
Use it and you're dead to me.
Yeah, we've got a couple of people suspected of using it on our server. I think I shared some of that with you, Tech, one time.
Yeah.
I think that might be Pixelbotter. I'm not sure. I know that there was a couple of guys reported for using it, and Scopely's excuse was that if it's a macro-based command on your computer, it's not actually interfering with the game. They can't do anything about it.
Well, so the reason for that is BlueStacks is not an officially recognized emulator of Android. So if you're doing something directly to the Android app or the iPhone app, that is Star Trek Fleet Command, then Scopely can take action. But because BlueStacks is this quasi-gray area bullshit thing, its code is open to manipulation. And so any kind of bot that is built can manipulate the BlueStacks code, which somehow interjects with whatever the fuck you're doing in game. And so that way Scopely can say plausible deniability, saying, "Oh, it's fucking BlueStacks. Sorry guys, I can't do shit about it." You know, I'm sure if they wanted to, if anybody wanted to, they could take action.
If it's linked to an account, if it's linked to an account, it's linked to an account. I don't kind of believe that. I think that's a cool sidestep because, you know, it's claiming things. You can claim things, you can donate to Alliance, you can do all the help things, you can attack people. Yeah, come on. It's linked to an account. It's linked to an account.
Yeah, it's linked to an account.
That account has an account, which is also linked to a mobile, not just BlueStacks. So, yeah, that sounds like a dodgy defense platform.
It's like, look, I am not a fan of Scopely. I don't think anybody here is truly a fan of Scopely because we want to play a nice Star Trek game, and we get this. Just insert your own adjective that you want. Whoever's listening, it's not a game. It's a very poorly run social app with idiotic things with pixels. And nobody really had scope. I mean, they claim they care, but they really don't. They make more money off the bugs than they do actually fixing bugs. So that's why there's so many bugs that exist. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, hey Rocketeer, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Hopefully, anybody listening to this will seriously look at the plunge of being an active player and having time on their hands to help the community with other resources like updating the wiki. All the descriptions are in the video below. The channel will be open. You could be on Discord. You could join you're going to make a podcast stage on your own server so people can join without actually joining your server, which is cool. But if they join your server, they can get access to the wiki submissions. They could take a look at all the guides that have been written so that you can edit the code and help the player base. That's what we're here for. We're here for the players. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming today. Kirk, Rocketeer, Amergan, thanks for all the contributions, guys. This has been Trek Talk. I'm Techman16.
And I promise I was listening the whole time.
I'm sure you were.
All
right, guys, we'll see you guys next time.
Good luck.
I'll see ya.
Bye now.